Well, g'day, welcome back to another episode. We're on our way to Carnarvon National Park. We are so excited for this.
Carnarvon Gorge National Park.
No, it's not.
Oh,
that's what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks it's just Carnarvon Gorge, but that's exactly what I was about to say, is Carnarvon National Park is so much more, from what we've read, so much more than just Carnarvon Gorge. Everyone's probably heard of Carnarvon Gorge in outback Queensland. The national park that lies in has a few other hidden treasures, and we're off to explore those. So first up, we're on our way to the what they call the Mount Moffat section, which is in the western section of the Carnarvon National Park.
Yeah, so we're staying, we're booked in for a week at the West Branch campground. It's a bit iffy and ummy whether you should or shouldn't take a caravan in there. There's some photos on WikiCamps with some reasonably sized caravans in there, so we're going to give it a crack.
People have gotten caravans in there, but there's mixed reports on the WikiCamps reviews and stuff whether it's a good idea, whether or not you should try and take a big caravan into this section of the park, but we're going to give it a crack
and let you know. We've just been in June. There's a small spa supermarket. It's probably like a 1 or 2 aisle sort of ordeal. I can't actually tell you. I went to go in there, but it's closed on a Sunday. So do not do any provisioning in June on a Sunday. Lots of things are closed.
So it's a narrow sealed road at the moment, but it's just widening its way through this lower country. The mountains are starting to build up around us. I'm getting excited. This is our favourite type of countryside, isn't it? Like just nice trees around, some good stuff off in the distance, the yellow grass. It's awesome. It's so good to be back out here.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what we're going to find when we get into there. So let's knock over this drive, hey, and get into West Branch camping area.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, well, that was close. We were just cruising along and out of nowhere, this bloody whole bunch of bush chooks, a whole mob of emus just came running across the road. We just missed one and just missed turning the camera on in time to show it, but yeah, there's about a dozen emus out here. So that's our first bit of wildlife for the drive. I love emus, I reckon they're the coolest animals. Weird bloody things, but they're really cool. Well, we're about 85k, I think, still from camp. We just pulled up here, have a spot of lunch to eat. A lot of roadworks along the way, some fresh seal, very mixed conditions. The road gradually got narrower and narrower and deteriorated as we got closer and closer to the park. We'll have a bite to eat. I'm going to let some air out of the tyres. We did stop and turn the caravan on a little while back just because of all the roadworks and everything, and figured we were going to turn it on eventually anyway. But yeah, nice little spot here up on top of the hill. Quick bite of lunch and then we'll head in the last little bit. I think it's been pretty slow going, between sort of 60 and 80 k's an hour. Just a lot of blind corners and crests and floodways and like I said, those roadworks. So not a bad drive so far, but we'll see. I reckon the worst conditions are still to come by far. So we'll see how bad it gets.
What's happened here, Dale?
Yeah, the draw fronts come separate. The draw front's separated from the drawer itself. Yeah, I'll just take it out for now. Fix it at camp.
Yeah. First caravan casualty.
Why have we got so many books?
Oh, they had library books at the school send.
What time to stop sending so many books? Can't carry out 20 kilos of books around the country. Oh, I'm just going to let some air out of the tyres. These days I don't really muck around. As soon as I know we're going to be on the dirt for a while, I just knock air out of the tyres. It's way easier. So while we're having lunch, it's a good time to do it. So I'm just gonna go down to 25 all around on the van. I went to 25 on the front of the car. I did the car already, and a little bit more. I went 30 in the back of the car just because there's a bit more weight there. This is actually the first time we've aired down on the titanium, so I'll start at 25 and see what I think, but I reckon 25 will be pretty good. That's sort of about where I used to go on the old van, unless it was particularly rocky or something. I sometimes went a little bit lower, but we're not going much more than 60 or 80k an hour anyway, so might as well let some air out and enjoy a more comfortable ride and save braking things, eh? This is awesome. I absolutely love this sort of driving, just this sort of bushland. We're just starting to get a few little mountains and hills and features appearing.
Rocky outcrops.
Yeah, little outcrops and that, like the one just behind me here. I hope you can hear me right. I got my window down. I'm just frothing on this. Been heaps of wildlife, mostly cattle, but we saw those emus on the way in, and been a couple of wallabies getting around as well. But we're starting to follow this dry creek along now, and the track's just winding its way through. It's smoothed out heaps. It's a really awesome drive. I am so excited for what's coming over the next few days and the next week or so. It's going to be, yeah, we're back. We're back to where we should be. This is the outback where we belong. It's, yeah, I'm stoked. I am frothing. Now, the only thing that can make this a bit better is if I remember to put some bloody beers in the fridge. I think all my beers are warm, but anyway, chuck a couple in the freezer when we get there, and we'll be right. They'll get cold quick enough.
They're clearly doing some back burning at the moment to keep on top of the fire, to keep on top of, you know, park management. The smell, it just is this beautiful smell of like, just a faint, smoky gum tree eucalyptusy smell all through the air. The smoke haze is just making everything look insane. It has us so excited to get in here and just excited to, you know, be doing our craft. Like, this is what we do these days. We film, we make beautiful videos. It's just so good when the scenery and the wildlife play ball with you. So yeah, really happy with this drive in. It's just so stunning. Just come to these outback places that are a bit off the beaten track, a little bit of an effort to get to, require some planning and logistics. I think we're going to be definitely rewarded for our efforts. So really looking forward to seeing what's in here. And to be honest, this has just been worth it just for the drive alone, let alone what we're going to find once we get there. So yeah, I'm really happy, in case you can't tell. Alright, so the track's now turned to that powder white sand, and it's getting pretty deep. There's a bit ruddy in spots, corrugated in other sections. It's the kind that you definitely want those tyres down, keeping your momentum. Yeah, keeping it in four-wheel drive, definitely the way to go. It definitely is an off-road caravan road only, this one. I'm just gonna call it now. It's off-road vans only. Or unless you don't really care about your caravan at all.
Yeah, you really need the clearance more than anything for it's bumpy, obviously, and rough, but it's, especially in these deep rutted sections, you want the clearance. All right, we made it. It looks awesome. A little bit of tree cover, so we just tried to pick a spot out in the open a little bit so we can get a bit of solar while we're here. But this is, this is gonna be good. Bush camping, beautiful campground,
so
like stunning.
beautiful.
Stunning campground. Heaps of things on the way in to see, but we're just running out of time. It's already 4 o'clock, so skipped over heaps of stuff, but we're going to take you back there. We're going to settle in, get camp set up, and then quick and easy dinner tonight. Can't wait to show you guys tomorrow morning. We're going to go for a good explore and show you all around. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Well, Lisa's having a little drive this morning. We're going to head up first thing, I think, and go up Mount Moffat. There's a bit of a four-wheel drive track up there. There is a camping area up there as well. I like to just have a bit of a sticky beak and get a feel for the area in case we want to come back one day, which we probably will. So we're going to head up Mount Moffat, have a look from up there, and then we'll probably head off and do a few walks. What's wrong? It's just a hill.
I can't see.
Turn and go down it.
Holy smokes! Oh, that's the biggest eagle I've ever seen.
Did you see that, boys?
Yeah, that was a huge one.
Huge eagle?
Huge. And guess what? That eagle just came out of nowhere.
It did.
That easily had a wingspan of 2 meters.
I was chatting away to the camera and this massive eagle just come up here. Anyway, that was pretty cool.
Oh,
that was a big wedgie. That was cool to see. In flight too.
Yeah, like wider than our, like 2 meters easily wingspan. And just so low and close too. It was only like 10 meters away. Oh, I love them. They're so cool. They're such cool creatures. If Simon was going to be reincarnated, he'd come back as an eagle.
Yeah, wedgies are the coolest. Such just stunning scenery through here. We absolutely love this sort of country with the yellow-brown grass and the beautiful gnarly-looking eucalypts and just these little sandstone escarpments and little rocky outcrops all the way through. And a really easy drive so far at least, but all the tracks are in pretty good condition throughout the park so far. And just so they're just these cruisy, relaxing, you know, forest drives and heaps to see. We were so much wildlife, like we've seen dozens of roos and wallabies, as well as obviously that eagle just recently, and yeah, heap of bird life, and yeah, it's just beautiful and calm at camp overnight, really still and quiet. So
bloody freezing overnight though. We had ice on the picnic tables this morning, and I felt a little bit bad for all the hikers that were in there, and we had our diesel heater running, so
I didn't feel bad at all. No, it was all good. But anyway,
we fired up the coffee machine this morning.
Yeah, we had the diesel heater going on the coffee machine, and they're all freezing their asses off in their tents. But that's their life choices that they made, and I made different ones, and I'm not going to feel bad for it. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be us one day soon, darling. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, let's onwards and upwards. Well, we made it to the Mount Moffat camping area, and what we thought was Mount Moffat itself, but it's really just Mount Moffat in the distance. You can't even really see it through the trees, and the track doesn't go any further. So that'll do us. That was a fun drive. Time to turn around and go back. Cool little drive. Like, I don't think you'd get the caravan in here. I didn't really pay that much attention, but I think there was a few low tree branches and stuff. It'd be the only thing that'd stop us. But
I don't see why you would camp here, though.
It's a nice, quiet campground.
It to yourself.
If you're looking for somewhere just to go camping away from everything, but it's a bit of a hike in. It's 15 k's from the junction and probably takes about 20 minutes, half an hour. So yeah, anyway, We came, we saw. It's a nice campground. Toilets, fire pits. Let's get out of here. All right, well, we made it now. We're down in the southern section of the park. Well, it's basically right near the park boundary. We're just having a bit of a tailgate lunch, the kiddos and Liz and that. Liz made some wraps for us this morning, cheese and salami wraps. So nice and simple and easy. So this is what they call the Mount Moffat section. So where we're camping is just up in here, West Branch camping area. This is Carnarvon Gorge itself. So that's down in the gorge. Obviously, all this dictates the cliffs of the range, and we're up on this section up here. See, this is where you come in from Injune, is down the bottom here. We've now come back to here. We've backtracked back to here. So just after the grid, you'll see this section we're in, which I'll talk about more in a minute. So on the way in, we came up this way. We kept left at this junction, went past Arganelli Rockhole camping area, which is another good camping area if you're camping with caravans or anything. And then we came up along this way and then came in that way when we came in the other night. Today we've left from West Branch. We've come down this section here to the information, down across past the airstrip and out this track here up to Top Moffat camping area. That does say four-wheel drive only, that track, but to be honest, apart from that one creek crossing, there's not too much there. But that really only takes you, like we said, to that camping area. There's not much else there, but it is a nice drive. We then doubled back, came back along here, back past the airstrip, and then came back down this way, down past the mailboxes and then down to here where the Looking Glass, the Chimneys, the Tombs and Cathedral Rock are. So we're going to do a circuit here. It's you can just go out to either of these independently, or you can see here, this is where we are. So we've parked up here in the parking area. We're going to do this circuit that takes us past the Looking Glass, out to the Tombs, which is a rock art site, and then back down to the Chimneys on the way back, and then we'll check out Cathedral Rock. So we'll see all four features on the one circuit. So yeah, that's a 5.8k circuit. I think it'll be a fairly easy walk.
Jamesy got himself dressed this morning, didn't you, James?
Did you get yourself dressed, James?
Can you show everyone your shirt that you put on?
Did you forget something?
My shirt.
My shirt.
What's that? Oh well, you win some, you lose some. All ready for you to wear, darling? It's a sneak peek of what's really in our backpack.
Behind the scenes. Heaps of shit. Alright. Who left their food here, James?
I was just about to say, is that your half-eaten wrap and mandarin, darling?
James Bailey, I can guarantee. Alrighty, well we found James. We had to dig around in the car and found James's rashy, so he's going to wear his swim shirt for the duration of the hike, but he'll be right. Trying to get two kids ready, it just takes forever. But anyway, we're on to it now. Off we go, onward and upward. Looking forward to this. So this whole area we're walking through is where they've been burning off the last few days. So you would have seen as we drove in, there was a bit of burning off going on. So there's still a bit of smoke around, a few smouldering bits and pieces, but it's mostly all done now. So what'd you forget?
Just water, hats, camera. Oh, classic mum moment, trying to get everything sorted and then you forget the important stuff. All right. This is just footage of me pretending to be my kids. So where we are now is an Aboriginal ancestral burial site and it's called the Tombs. So the story on the sign is that the Indigenous people would bury their dead wrapped up in bark, like cocoons almost, and bury them within the stone. And this is the tree here that they would use. So you can see, like, I'll show you down here, the bark just peels off. So they would use that as the wrapping. Unfortunately, in the 1900s, a lot of the artefacts and sites were raided out of here. It's said that they used to also bury their dead with like gifts, like necklaces and artefacts like that would have been special to the indigenous people. It's a pretty, like, I don't know if it's the smoke and the fire as well, but it's pretty sobering being here. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's very quiet, and you get crows sort of squawking in the background, and it's nice though. Like, it's very serene and quiet, but it's amazing, like these places, there is something about them that just makes you feel like there's something sacred or something special about them, and then you read about it and you realise that there is a lot of history here. So I don't know, it's hard to put your finger on, like Liz said, whether you're just drawing connections or whether there is actually something in the space that makes you have a certain sort of feeling about it. But yeah, I always feel very privileged to be able to visit these sort of places, because I think too many places like this around the country have to be locked up or protected from people just doing the wrong thing. So I think it's a real privilege that we get to visit places like this that that we still have access to, and I think it's really important to show the correct respect. And as if your ancestors were buried here, how would you want them to be treated? Because it's no different. In fact, if anything, I'd argue that these are far more significant because of the history of their culture and just how ancient their culture is. So yeah, a special place. Sad, like Liz said, that it's a long time ago now, but that it was disturbed and not treated with that respect. But I think like a lot of these places we get to visit around the country, there's lessons here that we can learn, and that we could still learn, that I think we could still do a better job of preserving and acknowledging Indigenous culture in this country. I think it's something that this nation should be most proud of, and it's not always the case. So let's work on that and let's do better, I reckon. Because places like this, they're bloody special, and it's a real privilege to be able to be here. I feel really, really humbled that we're able to bring our kids out here, and that's the first step, I think, it's an important step in making a change in the way we view and treat Indigenous culture in this country. Being able to bring the kids here at the age that they're at, and their brains are like sponges, they're absorbing so much, and to be able to share this sort of stuff with them and explain to them what the history is of the place and why it's sacred and special, I think is really awesome to be able to do that.
I was just thinking as you're saying, and I think in terms of like burial ceremonies, it's got to be one of the nicest burial ceremonies I can imagine, is being wrapped up in a tree and then placed in a rock. Sounds far better than anything we do.
But then giant boulders started collapsing.
So boys, there are more than 400 images that decorate the walls of this small sandstone overhang, making it one of the Central Highlands' most significant rock art sites. This art is a reminder of the rich social and ritual life of the areas of the Aboriginal people. So
this is an Aboriginal rock art site, boys, so we're looking for pictures on the walls.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, we're only just getting started, and it's got to be one of the best rock art sites we've seen. This is incredible. What can you see, boys?
Hands.
Hands, what else? Anything else?
Spears.
Spears, yeah. What an incredible site this is. I had no idea that this was here, like in this area, that there was such prolific Indigenous art. It's in amazing condition, like some of the best preserved stuff we've seen. I think it's probably the best preserved stuff we've seen since Kakadu, I reckon. Like, it's so clear, like there's no trying to figure out, is that one, isn't it? Like some of the sites we've been to, it's as clear as you can get. I can see kangaroo markings, a lot of handprints. There's full figures over here. Like, yeah, we're gonna spend a bit of time here showing the kids, I think. And there's some kangaroo footprints in there, Jamesy.
But the kangaroo's been inside, too.
No, not kangaroos been inside there. The Indigenous people, the Aboriginal people, painted on the walls. So you see how they did the handprints? They put their hands out like this, and then blue ink around their hands, which they make from the dirt and the rocks ground up. See over there, there's the two vertical kangaroo mark. They're kangaroo feet. So that could be them telling other people who come and visit the area that there's kangaroos you can hunt here for food. And there's another curved one over there that looks a bit like a rainbow or a boomerang. Can you see that? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, tyre track.
Do you think it's a tyre track? I think it might be a net, Harrison. Let's find out. There might be a sign instead.
And a fishing rod.
Yeah, I think it might be more likely to be a spear and a net. It says here, Harrison, the specific meaning of these grid designs is unknown. However, they are often found near burial tunnels, and they were probably associated with mortuary cemeteries, rituals involving preparing and burying the dead.
So we're probably about halfway through the hike, I think, so not too bad. Pretty easy all in all. But yeah, this rock art site here at the Tombs is an absolute highlight. Make sure you come and visit this when you're in the area. It's mind-blowing. It's really, really good. They win. They've won their Oh, yeah, so see how that's growing on the ground there. What happens is it's top. We've arrived at the Looking Glass. Hey, look at that, Harrison. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, vertical that is. It's just like... It's obviously broke it off from up there somewhere and tumbled down and just ended up standing up like this. But look how straight that is, and it's just standing vertically and with the hole through the middle. It's pretty cool. But then out this side's just the jagged edges.
It's nice in here.
Well, that was pretty cool. The Looking Glass.
Yeah, so nice. I'm glad Simon actually got a little reel of me climbing out of it, which is quite embarrassing, but I'll have to be friends with us on Instagram to catch that one, because we didn't catch it on the other cameras. Head over to Instagram and check out, yeah, all the details for the hikes, campsites, stuff like that. We've put it all on Insta and Facey, so yeah, come be friends with us there. Oh wow, Harrison. Up there. You see the hole? Look at the top.
So I don't know, what we saw was the miniature Looking Glass, and that's the main one up there on the escarpment, or the other way around, I don't know. Anyway, either way, there's some cool holes in the rocks. We're going to scoot back out of here. We're only a K or so back to the car park, I think, from here. Oh, you made it. Good to see you. Did you want a music bar?
Is this one on?
Yeah, that's the one I put in my pocket for you when we left. That's the one I put in my pocket for you when we left, but it got a bit squashed. But it'll still be good.
Why did you do that?
Well, I carried it all the way for you, but I forgot it was there.
Did you start the beers without me, Dar?
Oh, it was a big walk, you know. I earned it, I reckon.
I reckon this is a sign of a seasoned traveller, when you remember to pack beers for the end of the hike. Alright, that's the end of this. We're going to head back now, back into camp, whip something up quick and easy for dinner, and see you guys in the morning. Cheers!
Alrighty, let's try zooming out.
And here's me, stuck in the dirt. Stuck in an ant's nest.
Stay. And you have to
Tyres down, or are we?
We've already got the tyres down.
We're in two-wheel drive. So
Put your window up.
up.
What, because you're on flat dirt?
Yeah.
It's no different to what was back there except for a sign.
No, but I'm such a rule follower. Yeah, there's also some really beautiful paper daisies on the other side of this fence that have me a little bit excited, but now someone's looking at me like, you idiot. Now I've got to go get footage of those paper daisies because you said it.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to cut that. Oops, filming. Oh, yep. That's what you get when you're chatting away with flies buzzing around you.
Do you want me to grab the backpack for you?
No, you're all right. I'll get the backpack and all the drinks and the camera gear and everything. You just walk yourself out, darling.